Okay.
Okay, 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 okay.
That's okay. Sorry about that, everyone. It's not good. I'm very very sorry. Now, can you guys hear me now? Is that okay? Now, okay. Farhan, thank you very much. Okay, I'm extremely sorry, everyone, but at least it generated a lot of comments, right? Okay, great. Okay, let's restart. Okay. A little bit of exercise for me, right? Okay, great. Um, okay, so thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. This is Amir Ismail, live with you from Toronto, Canada. I'm the CEO of Amir Ismail and Associates. It's an immigration consulting firm based out of Toronto. And we've been assisting clients in their immigration matters for the last 30 years now. And we've been very lucky that around 25,000 applicants put their trust in our services, and hopefully we can assist you too. So these information sessions we arrange every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what a lovely morning today here in Toronto to have you all with us. And hopefully we'll be able to answer some of your questions in the limited time we have. Um, and for those whom we won't be able to answer to, you're very welcome to email us at info@amirismail.com or send us a WhatsApp message at 647-835-0660 with the country code of Canada, which is +1. And my team is going to attend to your questions promptly. Okay. So hopefully we'll be able to answer a few of the questions. The agenda is very simple as usual. We have our giveaway available. One of you would be able to win a free consultation, and all you need to do is to put hashtag AIA, and you will be included in the draw, which will happen at the end of the show. And we will also be including the settlement section, as perhaps I indicated earlier as well. I forgot because there was no audio. But just to reiterate, as an immigration consulting firm, we believe in settlement-based philosophy, and we understand that our client need assistance not only in immigration matters but also in settlement when they arrive here, accommodation, school uh, admission for children, the choice of the area, especially if you're arriving in the GTA where we are located. So, we in fact provide settlement services that include even airport pickup or accommodation, temporary or permanent accommodation, referrals to different professionals, tax authorities, um, and dealing with tax authorities or dealing with any other government institution here in Canada. So it will be a pleasure assisting you all. Last session that we had, if you remember, I invited my wife, Urshi Amir, and she provided some feedback about raising children in Canada, what to bring into Canada when you are immigrating. So I have requested her to join us again on the request of a number of people, including especially ladies who said that she should be part of these sessions. So we have requested her to join us again today. So she will have a brief um, appearance, and we'll ask her a few questions. So that will be part of the show. So without further ado, uh, we should start with our questions and see who else is there. If you can indicate which part of the world you are joining us from, that will be uh, very good. Okay, so let's see who is with us today, very very quickly, and then we'll jump right into our question and answer. Okay. Okay, so Atiya Kashi was saying no sound. I think that was when there was no sound, but I hope now you guys can hear me, right? At any point in time, if you can't hear me, um, let me know so that we can fix it. Okay. Okay, so most of the comments. So I'm actually looking at it on my second screen. Let's see who is with us today. Um, I'll just start showing the names where you were saying no sound. So Salman, thank you. Azhar, Zaid, Rajesh, Zulfikar, Farhan, Neha, some LinkedIn user, I can't see the name, Arsalan, Sajjad, Harish, Farhan, and Zaid has joined us. Thank you very much. I think you are joining us for the first time today. Thank you very much. Hassan has joined us. Okay, Farhan, Mubin, thank you, Mubin, and thank you for jumping right into our contest. So let me show you the hashtag as to what you should do um, in terms of hashtag, which is this. So the giveaway today again is the same hashtag AIA, right? So just enter that and in comments, and you will be entered in the draw, which would be. So I'm going to keep on showing this throughout the um, show, but let's just quickly go through the acknowledgement so that we can start answering your questions. Okay. All right, Zahid, Sajjad Alvi. We have Suhaib Tahir with us, Nadir Ali Khan joining us from LinkedIn. Thank you, Nadir, for being with us today. Raza Abdul Qadir. So lots of people from LinkedIn today. So it's good to see. But our usual Facebook audience, very grateful that you are here today. Arsalan Hirani, Zahid San, Rafiq Arijo, Muhammad Salim. Thank you for entering in our uh, giveaway. Repeat the number, yeah, 647-835-0660 with the country code +1. Okay. Shazad, Gibran, Minhas, thank you for joining us today all the way from Thailand, Bangkok. Thank you for joining us, Gibran, Mabeen, Sajjad Alvi, Sayyid Haj, Atiya Kashif, Sayyid Anas, Fatima. Daisy is with us today as well. Okay. So I might not be able to acknowledge everyone. There are so many of you today joining. It's a good morning. It's a warm morning here in Toronto. We would be answering your questions today. Middle East people, yes, thank you. Sajjad Alvi from Bahrain, Abdul Qadir from Dubai, Suhaib Tahir from again UAE. I'm assuming you are in Dubai too. Someone from Kuwait, someone from Pakistan. Nadir Ali is from Pakistan. Hasib, Leila Rahim is from Pakistan as well. I know you, Leila. Thank you for joining us today. Suhaib Tahir, Rahman Ali Shah, Faisal Koker, Kamran Ewan from Pakistan. Sayyid Yusuf Ali is joining us from YouTube. Thank you. Um, I believe there are a few people joining us from YouTube too. Thank you. Farhan, someone from LinkedIn, Kamran Ewan, Farhan Khan. Okay, it's Azarbadi. Okay, so let's move on to the question. I think I would take first question that is from Aruha Arif, and she's saying, how do you move to Canada on a work permit as a couple, considering that I personally do not want to work. She's a freelancer and wants to continue doing what she's doing right now, while her husband uh, will work. So when it comes to work permit, we will be actually having a program on work permits without a job offer from a Canadian employer, and that is when you can offer significant benefit to Canada that includes creating jobs and starting off your own business. So you can be your own employee. But when it comes to you looking for job, the employer offers you the job, and then employer applies to get an approval, which we call labor market impact assessment. A different department other than immigration department is involved, and the employer is the one that initiates that application. So you need to have a willing employer who is willing to go an extra mile for you, is willing to hire you because they genuinely need you, and they fail to find a person of your caliber in the whole wide Canada, despite their utmost efforts. They did their best, they placed ads, they interviewed people in Canada, but they couldn't find someone of your caliber, and they need you and they want to hire you, and they want to then proceed with the labor market impact assessment application. So if you happen to find an employer who's willing to do that and go an extra mile for you, then that is the first step. And then the second step is to apply for work permit. I see that it is difficult. It rarely happens. You might want to look into other options where if you are a senior manager or a business owner, you might be able to get a work permit for yourself if you offer significant benefit to Canada. And then we make up a case where we put forward a business plan and we ask for a work permit. The other way could be to, of course, come under a PNP program. But get in touch with our team and we will be able to find a solution, because not all the solution fits all. There could be other options available too. So let's figure that out. All you need to do is to get in touch with us and we'll be happy to assist you. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. And the next question is Shizad. And Shizad is saying that he's from Pakistan, Karachi, and he has done his MBA, and he has experience of more than 10 years in petroleum industry. So Shazad, if you're asking for an assessment, if you want to know whether you qualify to immigrate to Canada, our team makes assessments for all the applicants who approach us. That is the very first step. We want to know whether the person is in a position to migrate. Naturally, Government of Canada and the provincial governments have designed their immigration programs. There are selection criteria in place. We use that and make assessment for you. You can do that on your own as well. It's online. But if you wish us to make an assessment, all you need to do is to complete our assessment form on our website, www.amirismail.com, and our team will be able to make an assessment within 2 business days and then arrange a consultation with you as well if need be. Okay, so do that and we'll be happy to assist you. Okay, next question is coming from Sayed Wahaj, and he's asking, what is the procedure to settle in Canada along with parents? Now, I understand you may have the understanding of selection criteria, but perhaps your question is related to parents, inclusion of parents in your application. So parents are not considered your dependents. You need to sponsor them if you want them to become permanent residents on your basis. You could be the sponsor, but you can only be a sponsor once you become a permanent resident of Canada. So first, of course, you have to qualify and then immigrate to Canada. When you come to Canada, you can then apply for their sponsorship if you qualify. So there is a criteria in place to qualify as a sponsor for parents. You have to have 3 years tax returns, and you have to meet a minimum income requirement. So you can get in touch with our team and we can explain it to you. But at that moment, I'm assuming that you are not a permanent resident. I'm understanding that you are planning to apply. You cannot include parents in your application. They may be able to come to Canada on a visitor visa or an extended visitor visa. We call it super visa. So there could be a situation where you wish to immigrate, but you are being precluded, or I wouldn't say precluded, you are delaying your plans because you don't want to leave your parents behind. You perhaps are the only one who's taking care of them. So a lot of people, apply for immigration and then apply for a super visa for their parents soon after they have obtained a job, because to sponsor parents for permanent residence, it takes time, at least 3 years. Tax returns are required, and of course, also a job plus income requirement. A lot of people fail to meet the income requirement. Plus, there is a sort of a lottery system for parents. Even if you meet the income requirement, everything is in place, you still have to apply and wait for the government to select you in a random draw. So that is a long process. It may or may not happen for a lot of people. A super visa is something that is achievable. So hopefully that will solve your issue. Zahid has joined us. Shazad, Warda Humayun has joined us. Thank you, Warda. Salman, thank you for joining us. Salman Amin, I believe I know you. Thank you. Rahat has joined us. Another question coming from Mubashir, and he's asking, uh, he will be writing us a detailed email regarding his requirement and questions related to Canada immigration, which of course he's interested to avail our services. He's based in Dubai. Thank you, Naveed. It will be a pleasure assisting you. And we assist a lot of clients from Dubai. Although we don't have an office in Dubai, but we never have felt the need of having one, especially in COVID days when everything has shifted to online. I'm planning to be in Dubai next month now, although I was supposed to be in Dubai this month, but people have advised me to delay my travel once again because of the situation all around the world. Canada, by the way, has opened the border with the US. It's a unilateral decision, although we were thinking maybe the US will open the border for Canadians, but instead of that, Canada has opened it for American citizens and permanent residents, and we are opening borders for international visitors on 7th of September. So you can come to Canada regardless of your status, vaccine status. The only difference would be that if you're fully vaccinated with one of the um, uh, approved ones, you can avoid hotel quarantine. Okay, so let's go move on to another question. Suhaib has left a comment that he's a pharmacist working with the Ministry of Health in UAE. Wonderful. It's great to know that. If you're interested in migrating, complete our assessment form. We'll be happy to assist you. Sylvester has joined us today. Thank you very much, Sylvester. Suhaib is planning. Thank you. Tabina has joined us again. Thank you, Tabina. And she is late today. And I'm sorry, you didn't miss a lot because I spoke for good 2-3 minutes without sound. And you guys are really great that you sustained that. So, yeah. Okay. So what are you saying? Can she apply as a florist for self-employed visa? How much success chances are there? So we'll evaluate your success chances. Usually in self-employed categories, if you are working in a profession that can add value to the cultural life in Canada, people in sports, for example, people in arts, they will qualify. I think you might, but you need to have accomplishments which are recognized on national or international level. So we'll see whether you qualify. Get in touch with us. It will be a pleasure. there is a comment coming from Zainab, and she's saying, when applying for PR renewal, do we need to submit supporting documents to prove our residency obligation, like T4s, rent documents, utility bills, along with basic forms on the website? Yes, you sure do, basically. If you have um, uh, fulfilled the residency requirement for 730 days in the previous 5 years, you should be okay, but you need to provide them the evidence, as much evidence as possible, to avoid any unnecessary delays, because you don't want them to get back to you with a letter asking you to provide further documentation. Better provide them upfront so that they know that you have been residing there, and it's not something that I mean, a lot of people, they don't live here, and but they try to show that they are here. So better provide them the evidence. Okay, so let's take another question. Okay, so let's Azhar Bhatti is saying, is it possible to first go to Canada, maybe on a visit visa, and then look for a job and eventually apply for work permit? If yes, how? So Azhar, your presence in Canada doesn't make any difference at all. If you come here on a visitor visa, it is very much not like you or anyone going to Middle East, for example, Dubai, where if you go there on a visitor visa, your chances of getting a job offer might increase because you're physically there, you can appear in interviews, because the system works differently there, because the employer is expecting you to be in that part of the world, because the authorities expect expats to come and work there. That is why when you're on a visitor visa there, it might improve your chances of being selected. But in Canada, employers are required to hire people from the local market. They are legally obliged to hire people from the local market. So your presence in Canada doesn't make any difference at all. When you apply for job, appear for interviews, the employer is going to ask you the question whether you have the authorization to work in Canada, and the answer will be no. Naturally, you are depending on the employer to apply for labor market impact assessment on your behalf. And that is a lengthy, not the lengthy, I would say, a complex process, because a lot of efforts and resources are required on the part of the employer to put in place to prove that they did their best to find a suitable employee from within Canadian market, labor market. So I don't think that it will make any difference at all. But if you want to come to Canada and explore, why not? It can be an exploratory visit. It's always encouraged, and do so. Okay, so there is a question coming from Mubashir and saying that he has a simple question. And I appreciate your simple question, Mubashir. And he's asking, he works as a chief accountant in insurance industry with more than 10 years of experience, 43 years of age, has 3 kids. What are the chances for me to immigrate? And the simple answer is that it appears that you do meet the minimum requirement, but I don't know about the chances unless I look at your CV and look at other aspects as well. For example, your spouse's qualification, presence of relative in Canada, and your prospects in various provinces. There are 10 provinces and two territories in Canada, and almost every one of these have their own programs as well. It appears that you are losing a lot of points in age factor, though, and that decreases your chances of being selected under the federal program, at least the federal skilled worker program, where the ranking points, the pass rank, in each draw we see it increases, or it hovers around 470 or so. So you will definitely not be able to score 470. You will be relying on provincial programs, and we'll be happy to make an assessment, just complete our assessment form. We get back to you with our opinion. Okay, let's go to another question. Tariq Aziz is saying, does your team help in job settlement for Atlantic provinces? No, our team doesn't help in jobs. And I repeat it again, as I do in every broadcast, that if any local agents, especially agents in countries like India, Pakistan, Dubai, all these local agents claim to be licensed consultant. They use the logo of the regulator here in Canada. Naturally, they haven't been to Canada themselves ever. That is why they are in your home country, right? They are not in Canada, but they do offer this service and they do charge for this. You are not supposed to pay for these job offers. It is illegal to charge even a single cent from these job seekers, applicants like yourself. So don't pay any money to these people and be wary of these local agents who claim to be licensed consultants. They are at best the agents of licensed consultants, but they are not. So be very, very careful. They charge money and then they run away. Okay, so let's go to another question. Samir has joined us today as well. Thank you, Samir. Okay, so let's discuss. Very interesting question from Naeem is saying, kindly reduce the fee for your office's first meeting in which most of the clients discuss the basic of their profile. Naeem, we don't charge for the assessment. We don't charge any money. So I think someone has misguided you. You complete the assessment form. We make the assessment. The licensed consultants make the assessment, not your local agent. Even if your local agent make an assessment free of charge, it's of no use because they have very limited knowledge. Sometimes they misguide people. So when you approach our office, first of all, you get free assessment, free opinion from licensed consultant. And if there is a need for one-on-one consultation, in rare cases, a small consultation fee is also fully refundable. I don't know if you know that. If the client proceeds to retain our services, it makes a lot of sense, right? So you don't have to lose anything because you perhaps are approaching a licensed consultant to retain their services. You don't get to pay anything at the end of the day toward a one-on-one consultation. At least you get authentic, reliable guideline, and that is what you're looking for. Otherwise, there are so many people who apply on their own and they qualify as well. You're not obliged to hire a representative, right? Everything is online. All the information is available. Why do you go for a consultant or a lawyer? You would only go for it perhaps because as a professional, you believe in professional advice. You believe in expertise. You believe that you are better off because you're taking a big decision. You don't want to make any mistakes. You just want to make sure that everything goes through smoothly. And that is why you approach them and they charge you money. Okay. Hamza joined us, Sayyid Wahaj. Thank you. Okay, Neha has an interesting question, and she's asking, what do you suggest after getting education, Canadian education? Are the chances to get a job in Canada, or we apply directly for a job from Pakistan? So when you get Canadian education, when you're in Canada as an international student, your chances of getting a job in Canada increase, of course, because when immigrants come to Canada with the foreign education, that is one of the barriers, I would say, because when you approach employers as an immigrant with foreign qualification, most of the time they are concerned about work experience. You don't have Canadian work experience, they say, and they also say you don't have Canadian education. So when you get Canadian education, naturally you have spent time in Canada, you have improved your language skills even further, you have gained experience of Canadian society, perhaps working as part-time as an international student, and you have also gained Canadian credentials, which improves your chances of getting a job in Canada. It also increases your points for Federal Skilled Worker Program, 30 extra points. It also qualifies you for another category in addition to PNP and federal program. It also qualifies you for Canada Experience Class. That is another category for international students, right? So, and you have seen that in the past 10 months or so, there have been no Federal Skilled Worker Program draws. There have been only Canada Experience Class draws because borders were closed. So Canada changed their strategy and they focused on international students. And there were around 500,000 international students when this all started, the border closure and all. So Canada thought that, okay, we do need immigrants, And in this scenario, we won't be able to allow foreign nationals to come to Canada. What should we do? So we don't have to worry, because if we don't invite foreign nationals, we have the backup inventory of international students. So if you become an international student, it virtually opens the door, a lot of doors, opportunities, and chance of you becoming a permanent resident become obvious. Okay. Akasha is saying, you mentioned being your own employee and getting help for work visa. So yeah, so this is a separate category, and we'll be happy to share more details in our next upcoming show. But suffice to say, it is something that has been unexplored by a lot of people. It does exist, where someone who put forward a case that they are in a position to contribute toward Canadian economy by establishing a business with investment and create jobs. Their business plan has to be well thought of, and they have to put forward a convincing business plan that this is gonna be very, very helpful to the Canadian. It's gonna bring in significant benefits to the Canadian economy. So we will be happy to discuss with you. Feel free to book a one-on-one consultation on our website, or just send us an email, and we'll be happy to assist. Okay, so let's take another question. Same answer, Yamin. We don't arrange jobs. We don't charge. You don't pay for those job offering agents in your local market. Be very, very careful with them. Okay. Let's take another question. Hassan is saying his wife is a teacher and they want to apply for immigration. What is the current opportunity to apply on the teacher as a teacher? So if you look at the way the system works, there is no occupation list in the federal program. In terms of occupation, you should be working in an occupation that falls under NOCO, which is the management occupations, and NOCA and B. NOCA being those occupations which require you to have a degree to be able to work in those occupations, and NOCB, which requires you to have at least a diploma. And then there are NOCC and D as well, which are like lower level occupation, like assistants, cashiers, bank tellers, travel agents. They don't qualify to meet the minimum requirement. So if your wife is a teacher, there are no priority list or demand list as such, unless we are talking about the provincial programs. In provinces, most of the time, it depends on the kind of occupation you are working in. So we will be happy to make an assessment of your wife's eligibility and your own eligibility as well. Just feel free to send us your CV or complete our assessment form, and we'll advise you. Okay. Yeah, saying it is said that after getting PhD, it is easier to get work permit or settlement in Canada. What do you say? So if you're talking about you being a PhD as a foreign national outside Canada, and if you're applying for Canadian immigration, then of course it is an advantage. But if you're talking about applying for work permit, the procedure is all the same. Where an employer is going to apply for a labor market impact assessment and has to prove that they were not able to find a similar employee in Canada, and that's why they should be allowed to hire you. Okay. Engineer is saying, and thank you, said you are in touch with our office, right? And we were able to make a free assessment. So if you have any further questions with that, please get in touch with our team. Okay, so another question from Mahim. And we have a lot of questions to attend to. I'm just going through each one of them very quickly. But yes, we will get back to you if any of the questions remain unanswered. Okay? Maheen is saying that she has done her bachelor's with second-class honors, upper division. I not too sure what that is, but I'm sure it is a good grade. She wants to apply for Masters in Human Resource Management, but she's heard visa rejection ratio is very high. So I'm a bit demotivated. I do not have GRE GMAT. Okay, so Maheen, when you approach an institute in Canada for the purpose of securing admission, they set their own admission policy. So if you meet the admission policy, naturally you would be allowed admission. But naturally, the next step would be to apply for visa. And yes, the visa rejection is high for some countries. I don't know which country you're coming from, but if you talk about countries like most countries in Africa, some countries in Asia, some of these countries, the visa rejection rate is high. And we had done an access to information request, and we found out that there have been a lot of visa refusals. Say in a country like Pakistan, for example, the visa refusal rate is very high. But all you need to do is to make sure that you submit sufficient evidence and documentation to substantiate that you are a genuine student. There is a logical reason why you want to study in Canada and why you want to study at a certain stage of your career, and do your best to provide a detailed student study plan, and try to convince the officer that you will go back to your home country with that degree, and that degree is useful in your home country, given the job prospects and everything. And hopefully you will get your student visa. If you need any assistance from our office, we do assist students in securing admissions in reputable Canadian institutes. We have hundreds of them on our panel, and we also, of course, are authorized to represent your study permit application. So we'll do our best. No guarantees, but we will do our best. Okay. Okay. Sylvester is saying he has submitted assessment form, and he wants to join us on Skype, or if there are any other way he can join us. So when you complete our assessment form, our team gets back to you and they provide you all the details on how to book a consultation on one-to-one basis if you are interested in that. So do read our response that might have been sent to you by email. If you haven't received it, please do get in touch with our team. Sometimes it ends up in your junk or spam folder. Do check that as well. But we do respond in 2 business days, and that is guaranteed. No assessment form leaves our attention. We do make sure that each and every assessment form is responded to in 2 business days, and I'm saying it is guaranteed. Okay. Okay. Najia is saying that she has done BA and she wants to study in Canada. And can we suggest courses? We can definitely do that. We have a student assessment form as well on our website. If you complete that and indicate your intent, your choice of courses, your preferred location in Canada, your budget, we will find you a suitable course for you according to your choice, and you can choose it, and we can then proceed further. So Jad is saying, is there any age limit? If your question is about age limit for immigration, there is no age limit, but you do lose points in age factor. And losing points in age factor means that your overall score is going to be affected. And if it is affected, your chances of being selected under the federal program decrease. But there are several PNP programs where you could qualify. Warda, thank you. You're welcome. Hamza is saying, what are the possibilities for doctors to immigrate to Canada? Are physicians in demand in Canada? So there are 2 things, Hamza, and I'm glad you asked the question. Doctors are able to qualify, are able to migrate to Canada. They do migrate to Canada. We have assisted hundreds of doctors immigrate to Canada. In terms of the demand in Canada, of course, there is always a demand for health professionals in Canada. Nurses, doctors, physicians, surgeons, they're all in demand in Canada in terms of being employed. But in order to qualify to practice as a doctor in Canada, it's a different story altogether. I would suggest that you get in touch with Canadian Medical Council or the regulatory bodies, provincial bodies in Canada, find out the procedure to get a license. So you will definitely be able to come to Canada if you qualify and migrate, but you won't be able to start working as a doctor unless you meet the regulatory requirement. Any profession which involves human lives is regulated. Of course, doctors are regulated all over the world, but in Canada, some professions that we don't even think about, they could be regulated. In other parts of the world, they are regulated in Canada. Uh, Professions like even immigration consultant, they are regulated in Canada for the last so many years. And if you compare this profession in other parts of the world, you will see that, like in Pakistan, for example, or India, this profession is not regulated, and anyone can open up an office and claim to be a licensed consultant. They're always there. They are not in Canada, but they're still claiming that's also, but doctors, of course, they are supposed to be regulated even in third world countries, right? So yeah, in Canada as well, but the licensing route is rather stringent, more difficult than any other country, I would say, even difficult, more difficult than in the US. Okay. Okay. So Rizwan is saying, which channel is best for fee transfer? I don't know what your um, question is about. Fee transfer to whom? So you have to be more clear about it. Another question. Daniel is asking, wants to have express entry or want to go to Canada for immigration. So express entry and immigration are not two different things, Daniel. Express entry is only a file management system. It's the name of the file management system. You create an express entry profile because you want to apply for immigration, right? Okay, so he says his father is dependent on him, and there are two family members. What will be the procedure or process for the express entry for immigration? Because he wants the case to be handled by our company. It will be a pleasure to assist you, Daniel. And if your question is about including your father in your application, that won't be possible because he's not your dependent. We might might utilize the humanitarian compassionate grounds to apply for your father, but the approval rate for that category is not that great. We can look into the circumstances and we can see whether he could be included or he could come along with you. But in most of the cases, for parents, you have to come to Canada, become a permanent resident, and then apply for the sponsorship or super visa. You're welcome, Mubashir. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, so Farhan is saying he has done MBA in marketing and supply chain, and his age is 37, working in global IT consultant firm as an IT consultant, and he has 5 years experience. He wants to know his chances, and his brother is in Canada. So it's a very good thing that your brother is in Canada. They give 15 extra points for presence of siblings in Canada, and seems to be a very good case, especially for a PNP perspective. You're losing points on age factor, but we can determine whether you qualify. If your brother is in Ontario, you have better chances in OINP, the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program, or in any other province. If your sibling or any close relative is in a particular province, the PNP chances increase, right? So we can look into that. Just complete our assessment form. We'll let you know. You're welcome, Tariq. Thank you very much. Neha is saying Lahore. In Lahore, I think she's saying some consultant is charging 14 lakh rupees for job offer. Oh my goodness, 6 months process. How are they getting work permit for people here in Pakistan? I don't have any idea what these people are doing because I don't know. You contact an orthopedic surgeon, and God forbid there is an issue with your bone, and the surgeon says, well, it is not possible for you to get it fixed. But then someone, a quack on the side of the road, says that he's going to fix it, but he's going to charge you 14 lakh rupees. And then you ask the surgeon, how is that person charging 14 lakh rupees when you said it's not possible? What should be the response? I don't know. I mean, you can try. It is illegal to pay for job, and it is illegal to charge money for job. But the offers are so tempting, that people, of course, they become, they want to take their chances, and in most of the cases they lose their money. So please don't do that. But if you want to, what can I do? It's your choice. Be very careful, though. Rahat, thank you. Okay, so Mahin is saying, are the chances of getting student visa goes down when you have siblings in Canada? Well, I don't think so, because if you have siblings in Canada, it doesn't mean that you will definitely stay back. Although Canadian government actually encourage you to become permanent resident when you um, graduate from a Canadian institute and gain 1 year experience, because they offer you postgraduate work permit, right? So they do want you to stay in Canada once you graduate. But yes, when you're applying, naturally you have to convince the officer that you don't have intentions. You may have intentions of staying in Canada afterward, but naturally at the time of applying of student visa, I assume that most people want to study and want to come back. That's their immediate need to get Canadian education. So, it doesn't really matter that you have siblings or not. People who don't have siblings, they also get refusal, right? So can't say that. Okay, what are the charges? Rizwan is saying if we take service upon arrival, they are for living purpose. Okay, Rizwan, this service is available to our clients free of cost. If you are our clients, we're going to pick you up from the airport. We're going to guide you for various things: driving license, health card, um, job, securing accommodation, you name it. We will not charge you anything for that, okay? Dr. Rafiq is saying that he's 38 years of age. He's a pathologist, and what are his chances? So, Dr. Rafiq, please complete our assessment form. We'll get back to you with our opinion in writing. Sayed Hubbe Habib is saying that she's MBA, and what are the chances? So you have completed our assessment form. Our team will get back to you, or they might have already gotten back to you. Please review our email response and proceed with consultation with us to proceed further, right? Azhar is saying, is it important to have a master's degree to apply for immigration? He has heard that from friends that applying for immigration, but he doesn't see any such requirement on the official website. That is true, Azhar. There is no such requirement that you need to have master's degree, although master's degree improves your ranking points, but there are many people who have bachelor's degrees and they do qualify for immigration, especially in the provincial programs, right? So, yeah, that is possible. Okay, so we are going to take a very, very quick break here, and we continue with answering your questions. And when we come back, we are also going to invite Arshi Amir to answer some questions related to the settlement services we offer. As I can see, there are some questions coming for settlement services, and we give you basic information about the services we provide, and some basic pointers for people who are ready to move. All right, welcome back, everyone. Thank you. And on your screen, you can see the giveaway, which is hashtag AIA, and it can get you a free consultation if you leave hashtag AIA as comment. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Azarbati had asked us the question about you having a master's degree being a mandatory requirement, which is not, and you're right, Azar. Let's move on to next question. Abdul Qadir is saying he has submitted his case last year, November, under federal program, but as of now, he was he didn't get any invite. What should he do? And does it make any difference to change local consultant, which I chose here in Dubai? Okay, so um, we all know that federal draws haven't happened for the last several months. We had two back-to-back draws that happened yesterday and day before. Um, Once again, inviting the Canada Experience Class applicants and the PNP applicants. There were in total 3,600 applicants invited once again. We are expecting that the federal draws are gonna resume sometimes in September or October, because from September we know that the borders are opening. So hopefully that is gonna start. In terms of your question about local consultant, that's your choice. First of all, if you're going with a consultant, should not be local, because local consultants are not licensed, even though they might claim to be agents of licensed consultant. But again, you have to deal with the licensed consultant directly. Why to deal with the agent, right? So be careful. But I'm not suggesting that you should sever your ties with any consultant. But what I'm saying is, do your due diligence. And naturally, when your case proceeds, you do need expert guidelines. And in most of the cases, local agents don't have that expertise. Profile creation is not that big a deal than submitting an application for permanent residence, which happens after um, you receive your ITA, basically. So moving on, let's take a few more questions before I invite Arshi Amir for her input on a few of the settlement services that we offer. Let's take another question from Rahat Jabin very quickly. She wanted to ask, she's 38 and has completed her bachelor's in 2006, and she has completed her master's, and she wants to know if she is eligible for student visa. Study gap is there. So basically, there are a lot of international students, mature students, international students who come to Canada on regular basis. Hundreds of them come every month, every year. And a gap, of course, it requires you to convince the visa officer that you are a genuine student. You're not just using the student path to gain entry into Canada. You are genuinely interested in upgrading your qualification and what this qualification would bring to you when you complete the degree. Okay. Okay. Let's take another question very quickly. So Jad is saying he's got 3 years diploma in electrical and has experience of 15-year working as GE as manager. He is 43 years old. So Jad, we can make an assessment, but it appears that you might be losing points, and you are losing points in age factor. We'll make an assessment. If you have senior management experience, you might qualify under one of the business program, even if you have the required network. So we can evaluate that. Okay. Let's take another question. Raman is saying, does Canada offer a full-time work permit to international students post completion of the studies in Canada? How long an international student can stay in Canada with work permit having completed a 2 years master's program? So your work permit would be actually valid up to the validity of your, like, if you were offered a 2 years master's program, then the chances are that you're going to get a work permit that is valid for 2 or more years. And yes, it would be a full-time work permit. It is called a postgraduate work permit. And if you complete 1 year work experience on that work permit under NOC O, A, and B, you may qualify under Canada Experience Class, or you may qualify under a PNP program that may allow even NOCC experience holders to qualify. Imran Ali is saying he needs our assistance, so it's going to be wonderful to have you. Let's go through some of the questions. Hassan is saying that he's going to be in touch. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's see if we can take a few more questions. Abdul Hasib is saying, what are the details of your Karachi, contact details of the Karachi office? So Abdul Hasib, I'm based in Toronto, and I do not authorize local staff to counsel clients. It's a legal matter, and local staff, like the way you see local offices, right, and local staff dealing with people, I'm amazed to see that these local offices with locally hired staff counseling people on Canadian immigration, which is a regulated occupation, right? So in order for you to ensure that you get authentic, reliable advice, you get in touch with the licensed people in Canada. That is my advice. It's your choice to deal with local agents. So I do not authorize my staff. My staff is there to assist in coordination. I would suggest that you get in touch with us directly. These days, getting in touch directly is not a problem. I'm dealing with you on one-to-one basis right now. It's so easy. So please do get in touch with us directly so that you get some reliable advice. So Jad is saying that he has got assessment from our team, and now he just wants appointment. So of course, when you get your assessment, you also may have received the guideline as to how to book the consultation, and we'll be happy to make ourselves available for the to answer your questions. Okay, so a few more questions. Taj Bano is saying, already in correspondence with the IA team, trust services of your office, very optimistic to get admission soon. Yes, it's a pleasure to have you, Taj Bano, and we'll be very happy to arrange, and I believe my team is working on it. And like you, we have assisted thousands of students come to Canada for the last many years. Since 1991, it's been 30 years. I've spent a lot of time in this field, and I hope to spend more time with the prayers and well wishes of everyone. Okay. Okay. Rizwan is saying, regarding university fee, I want to transfer university fee from GCC to Canada. So which way is cheap and less expensive to transfer that fee? I'm not too very sure. You can do bank-to-bank transfer, but there might be other services if they are reliable from GCC. I'm not too very sure about it, right? Sorry about that. Okay, so Mayu is saying, which PNP programs is best for experienced class banker pensioners at the age 40? What are the chances? So we have had success in Alberta, Ontario, Saskatchewan, many other, even PEI has invited few, and Nova Scotia as well. Tasadduk is saying, do you have any office in Muscat? Tasadduk, we deal directly from Toronto, and that is why we do have liaison officers all over the world. They do refer us clients, but we prefer to deal each one of them from Toronto. Okay. Farhan, yes, you're very welcome. Thank you very much. Rouge is saying, is there any province in which I can apply for PR while studying in an undergraduate program? So if you do already qualify, if you do have work experience, you may qualify, but we have to see whether you are eligible and in which province. So we'll let you know. Oh, okay, so let's see if we can take a few more questions. Okay, so I think we are quite okay. Neha has a comment, and she's saying that she asked the question because all people should avoid frauds in Lahore. Well, I would say Karachi is more mired with local agents, especially because they are so clever. They would use the logo of the regulator. They would say they are the licensed agent of the ICCRC of the Government of Canada. It's just like someone saying that I am the licensed doctor of the doctor. I don't know what people are doing. Um, if you have a compounder, if you're a doctor, if you're a compounder in your office, and if he starts dealing with patients, would you go to them? You won't, right? But there are people in Karachi, in Lahore, in Islamabad. They're claiming to be regulated consultant themselves, and it is such a shame and such a disappointing state of affairs because people are losing money to these people, and they're pretending to be licensed. They're doing similar shows like this. They are online, they're taking question and answers, and they don't have any license to practice. But they are claiming, and no one is to ask them a question because there is no regulation in those countries, India, Pakistan, even UAE. So yeah, you need to deal with, so just to make sure that you're not making a mistake, because if you hire someone from Canada, at least you know there is a recourse available, right? So yeah, I always do that. I always make sure that I am indicating that. Okay. Okay, so let's see. We have, so Hina is asking that can they apply for express entry and spousal sponsorship at the same time? Yes, you can do that. There are no restrictions, no worries. And Erini is saying she did her skill assessment through West Civil Engineer, and she's struggling to find a job offer. She's living in Abu Dhabi and 37, so the chances of express entry is low. And she's fluent in English and help with this. So just to clarify, your chances in EE, there are no chances in EE for anyone because EE is not a program. Express entry is not a program. So basically what you're trying to say is no chances for immigration under the federal program. That is perhaps you're trying to say. Yes, we can say that on the basis of the ranking, the past rank in the past few years that we've seen that it hovers around 430 to 470. If you don't have those many points, the chances of being selected under the federal program when your profile is in the express entry are low. But when your profile is in express entry, you are available for selection by the provinces, right? Yes, there are no guarantees for provinces even. But if you don't have a profile in express entry, there are zero chances. The provinces cannot see you, right? So you need to have express entry profile, and your chances under express entry profile are good if a province selects you from express entry. So I would encourage you to remain in express entry, keep your profile alive, keep your profile active so that you don't miss any chances, okay? So with that note, I'm gonna invite Arshi Amir. She was with us last session as well, and we're going to ask her a few questions. And maybe ladies in the house might be interested in asking her a few questions. She advised you that she has raised 7 of our kids in Canada. She has a lot of experience in raising kids and working as well at the AIA, looking after our accounts and operations. And she has a few questions to answer. We did receive a few questions about the residency obligation, and I'm going to invite her. Arshi, please come. How are you doing?
Hello, how are you guys?
Yeah, so yeah, she is someone who's been with me most of my life, 28 years now. Say about it?
Yes.
Okay. So there was a question received uh, about the residency obligation because a lot of people they have asked us that when you immigrate to Canada, if you go back, and then how would you meet the residency obligation, and how would you meet the citizenship application, eligibility? The answer is that there are 2 different concepts, right? One is the residency obligation, which is to maintain residency, which is 730 days in every 5 years. So you have to be physically present in Canada for 730 days to maintain your residency obligation, right? But if you want to apply for citizenship, you have to spend 1,095 days, which is 3 years, in the preceding 4 years from the date of your application. So 2 different concepts: maintain residency or apply for citizenship. But if you're accompanying a Canadian spouse outside, like if you're married to a Canadian citizen, and if you are spending time with that Canadian citizens overseas, your absences in Canada will be counted toward your presences. But that doesn't qualify you for citizenship. You still have to come to Canada, spend physical time in Canada in order to uh, qualify for citizenship. So with that, when you get your resident status, it doesn't qualify you for citizenship. If you're applying for citizenship, then you qualify for your Canadian passport as well. So that Canadian passport will only be applied for when you get your citizenship certificate, right? So that is how it is. So इसमें एक जो चीज हम पहले बात कर रहे थे, driving license के हवाले से. So when someone comes to Canada, and if they have international license with them, they can drive for how many? 90 days तक apply कर सकते हैं.
Some province में 90 days है और some में 60 days है. अब ये depend करता है कि आप किस province.
That means कि they can drive for
90 days in Ontario.
But there is a graduate licensing system. तो सबसे पहले तो उनको knowledge test तो देना ही देना. If they are experienced drivers, they still have to go for the knowledge test.
Yeah, it's a written test.
Yes. So they have to read a book जो
online available है
हाँ
हर चीज.
तो वो जो साइंस हैं और ये वो सारे हैं जो लोग दुबई से आ रहे हैं, सऊदी से आ रहे हैं, वो तो they are very familiar with, especially the left hand driving here. उसमें तो they are very familiar. और कभी कभार ये होता है कि जब वो ऐसी कंट्री से लाइसेंस लेकर के आते हैं जहाँ पर के ड्राइविंग के मेयार काफ़ी बेहतर हैं, तो ऐसी सूरत में उनको वेव भी हो जाता है, क्योंकि यू हैव टू देन अप्लाई फॉर योर G2.
जब आप G2 के लिए अप्लाई करते हैं तो आपको मैक्सिमम 1 ईयर वेट करना पड़ता है, लेकिन अगर आप अपना इंटरनेशनल लाइसेंस लेके आते हैं तो आपको 8 months का दे देते हैं वो.
Right. So G2 is the first step in graduate licensing system. Numbering है G2. G2 means आपका रोड टेस्ट लिया जाएगा.
Yes.
और वो वेव हो सकता है अगर आपके पास लाइसेंस है किसी
इंटरनेशनल या बैक होगा.
Right. और अगर G2 लेने के बाद they can go for the full license, which is the G license, जिसमें के उसके
हाईवे टेस्ट होता है, वो आपको हाईवे पे जाके देना होता है. और उससे अच्छा होता है कि आपका कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल भी बढ़ता है और आप जो है वो ऑल अराउंड ट्रैवल करने में आसानी होती है आपको कि आप एक सूबे से दूसरे सूबे जा सकते हैं.
तो ये आपका G लाइसेंस है. You might see कि मेरी शक्ल थोड़ी सी डिफरेंट है इसके अंदर. This is the Ontario driving license, जो कि शक्ल इसलिए डिफरेंट है कि I was younger at that time, right? तो but that is valid for 5 years. अगर आप 50 साल के हो गए हैं तो आपको फिर आई टेस्ट भी कराना पड़ेगा, ठीक है ना? तो आई टेस्ट कराने के लिए आपको जरूरी है कि
और इसमें एक अच्छी बात है कि आप जब बच्चों के लिए अप्लाई करते हैं तो जरूरी नहीं है कि आप पर्सनली जाके अप्लाई करें, आप ऑनलाइन भी अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि उसमें कोई तस्वीर की शर्त नहीं होती है.
तस्वीर की शर्त नहीं होती, लेकिन ये है कि ये जो लाइसेंस है ये आप ले सकते हैं. बट आप जब सेटलमेंट सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करते हैं अपने क्लाइंट्स को, जब हमारे क्लाइंट को वीजा मिलता है, यू सम टाइम पर्सनली गो एंड पिक देम अप फ्रॉम पेयरसन एयरपोर्ट टोरंटो में. तो इसके लिए आपसे कैसे रब्ता किया जाएगा?
इसके लिए जरूरी नहीं है कि आप हमारे क्लाइंट हो, आप पर्सनली भी जो है अगर आपने किया हो या किसी भी तरीके से आपने अपना केस फाइल किया हो, लेकिन आप हमसे रब्ता कर सकते हैं. हम आपको असिस्ट करके बहुत खुश होंगे. और इसमें कोई ये भी नहीं है कि आप किस कम्युनिटी से हैं या वो है. कनाडा इज अ मल्टीकल्चरल कंट्री, तो हम जो है आपको असिस्ट करेंगे यहाँ हर मामले में, चाहे वो आपका ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस हो, चाहे जो है वो अकोमोडेशंस हो, किसी भी मैटर में हो.
राइट. सो वो मैं आपसे सवाल करेक्ट करना चाह रहा था जल्दी कि नेचुरली आप हमें रेफर कर सकते हैं रियल एस्टेट एजेंट्स को भी.
Yes, sure.
और जैसे हम करते रहते हैं जॉब सर्च कंपनीज जो आपके साथ राब्ते में हैं उनको भी आप कर सकते हैं. और ये जो हेल्थ कार्ड है, नेचुरली व्हेन समवन कम्स टू कनाडा they need to apply for health insurance, and insurance health is covered by the province.
Yes.
Ontario में we have OHIP, Ontario इंश्योरेंस हेल्थ प्लान एंड ओहिप के तहत आप जो है वो फ्री हेल्थ आपको सर्विसेज मिलती है, बट initially you don't get that OHIP, so naturally they have to go for a private insurance. But when you do get, आपके पास रेजिडेंस होना जरूरी है मेरा ख्याल है।
आपके पास जो है वो रेजिडेंस होना जरूरी है। आप उनके पास जाते हैं, अपना कोई भी लीज या रेंट जो भी होता है आपके पास प्रूफ, एड्रेस का प्रूफ लेके जाते हैं, तो उससे जो है वो आपका हेल्थ कार्ड बनाने में हेल्प होती है। उनको पता चल जाता है कि आप यहाँ के रेजिडेंट हैं और ये 3 to 5 months में आपके पास आ जाता है। और शुरू में क्योंकि आप आते हैं तो आपके पास हेल्थ कार्ड नहीं होता है, लेकिन ये अच्छी बात है कि आप जो भी एक्सपेंसेस करते हैं, जब आपको हेल्थ कार्ड मिलता है तो गवर्नमेंट आपको वापस कर देती है।
That's wonderful. So this is the kind of health card you get from Ontario. Again, मेरी शक्ल इसमें थोड़ी सी different नजर आ रही है आप लोगों को, but nevertheless, this is the health card that you get. Right. So जो हमारा next program है उसके अंदर हम naturally we are going to cover more topics.
Yes.
But yeah, so this is wonderful. Thank you very much for joining us today, and I hope to see you again.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us today. We are going to run our giveaway, and the condition is still the same. If you have entered and left the show, even if you win, may not be able to entertain you. Well, I'm just kidding. We will still entertain you. But please remain with us until the end of the show so that you know you have won, right? So let's start our giveaway. I'm going to share the screen with you now so you know how does it look like, and we can run our giveaway right now. All you're doing is you are entering hashtag AIA to win the free consultation with us today. And we have 44 entries today, which is a good thing. Last time it was a little less, but today the competition seems to be tough, becoming tough with every passing, and with every show that we are conducting. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to give you 5 more seconds if you want to enter in our giveaway, hashtag AIA. And here we go. Let's see. Okay, so we have a winner, and the winner is Atiya Kashif. Atiya Kashif, you joined us from Facebook today. Thank you very much for participating. And everyone else who may have not won today, of course, there is always tomorrow. But if you want to have a consultation without entering into this free consultation draw, you can always complete our assessment form on our website, www.amirismail.com, and we will be happy to arrange your consultation. So Atiya, my team is going to get in touch with you, or you can also send us a message and we can arrange your free consultation in coming week. Okay, so this is wonderful. So everyone, thank you very much for joining us today. There was a lagging at the start of the program. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to make sure that it doesn't happen, but excuse me for my age. I'm not very technical savvy anymore, I guess. But it was a pleasure having all of you, and hopefully you join us again today. Please try to subscribe or like and share this video with your friends and colleagues if they're looking for licensed consultant, and we're going to do our best to make sure that we provide you services. And if you're interested in our settlement services, you can get in touch with Arshi Amir on the same email address, info@amirismail.com. It was a pleasure having you all today, and I hope to see you again the next time. Until then, goodbye.